Thank you for joining us, everybody. We're going to get our show started in just a couple of seconds here. I want to remind everybody, if you could just share this broadcast, we would greatly appreciate it because it would help us get more views and make the show a lot more exciting for live interaction. So please, don't forget to share the broadcast. We also appreciate all of your likes and comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and get ready for Spit the Wit. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to this show that was entirely produced and developed by the people sitting in front of you. Jessy Meadows and Frankie Almost. Brought to you in part by Rolling Hills Productions. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Spit the Wit. Jessy, if you would be so kind, would you please tell us what today's show's about?
Okay, so I'm actually really sick today, so we're just gonna kind of talk about things on the fly, like whatever we feel like we want to talk about, we're just gonna throw it out there. So, go ahead and comment and stuff like that. So yeah, cool.
And now, here is your host, Frankie Almost.
Oh yeah. So listen, I know I've said it before and I'm saying it again. We have a lot of technical difficulties whenever we start the show, and it's just during the beginning, and it's because I seriously need an intern in here to share the broadcasts and stuff as we're setting up, because it messes up the flow and everything. But lo and behold, we're here. She's sick. We had two guests that we were supposed to have today. However, we didn't want to get anybody sick, and we also are missing one of our cameras that goes onto the guests. So we apologize to those guests. I'm not going to say their names because they're going to be coming in next week. But anyway, welcome to Spit the Wit. And it is, what is today? Tuesday, February 7th. It's the day after our 9-month anniversary that we got married, her and I, 9 months ago. Jess and I got hitched here in Vegas.
May 6th.
May 6th, that's
2016.
right. That's right.
So
yeah. So anyway, we are. I'm going to turn it over to Jess and just let her talk about any random thing that she wants to talk about, because I actually do need to get this out there, because if we don't get shares, then we don't really get that much feedback, and sharing is the whole thing, because we only have like 90 people that are liking us on our page. So until we get like 1,000, we're probably going to have to keep doing this sharing thing. So I apologize. Jess, go ahead and talk about whatever you would like to talk about.
okay, so I'm really sick, and I don't usually get sick, guys, but this is bad. And from what I've seen on Facebook, it's actually all over the country. It starts off as a really sore throat, like I thought it was strep throat, and then it just ends up with nausea, and I'm falling asleep every 5 minutes, and I'm just not here. And I was like, okay, I have to do the show today, so I'm going to drag myself out there, and I'm going to do it. And now I'm sitting here in front of you all, and I'm like, So you have to forgive me, because I know that, like last week, or the last episode that I did, like I have a problem with being animated all the time, because I'm not used to seeing myself on camera. And you would think I would be, because I've been on camera since I was 3. And I still, like, every time I see myself, I'm like, oh, no, that needs to change, and I need to fix that, and it's awful. So, yeah, still getting used to that. Still, like, working on being animated and fun and, interesting. Interesting is good.
Interesting is good. I'm going to share this to one more to the group, and then we should be okay after that. I apologize again to everybody. And, it's really frustrating because I'm sick of apologizing to people. We should have a hold of it by now, but we don't. And unfortunately, that's just the way it goes when it's just a two-man show being run by mainly one person. So give me 2 more seconds here.
I'm mostly here to look at. And of course, I've got this thing that's been going on in my throat for like, I don't even know how long, 3 weeks, a month. I can't clear my throat. So sorry about that. Sometimes I think I'm better if I just sit here and look pretty.
Oh, yes. And that you do very well. So
Thank
anyway,
you.
I apologize that I was off camera. We also have a little issue with the aspect ratio of the video. So sometimes it seems to do better one way, and sometimes it seems to do better another way. So anyway, we're here, and I think we're ready to do things. Although, as I said, we had 2 guests that were supposed to be on here today, and we apologize to them. One of them was a guy named Steve Disler.
I thought you weren't going to name names.
I wasn't going to name names until it was ready, because I actually have a video that I have to play later on of Steve. We've known Steve a long time, and he was supposed to be here. He's Steve Disler from Steve & Kids, and he does a couple of other things, including gives tours at Wayne Newton's ranch, which is really cool, because I actually went on that tour with my mom. She was supposed to go that day, but she ended up being sick, so it was supposed to be her, my mother, and myself, and instead she dropped out because she was feeling sick at the time. So my mother and I went to the Wayne Newton Ranch, and lo and behold, Steve was our tour guide, so that was cool. So we got to hang out and videotape some stuff, and I'll probably play a little clip from that in just a little bit here. And I'm not naming our secret guest who's coming on here. When is she coming on again?
She's coming on Tuesday.
She's coming on Tuesday, and he's coming on Friday. That's the schedule now?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. What do we want to talk about? Oh, of course we got to talk about the Super Bowl. And here's the deal.
But you've got to bring up the thing, the way it flashed on the screen. Predicted the future.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay, so
Somebody
I don't
screwed up.
Don't want to get to that yet. Let's start from the beginning. Anybody that knows me knows that I am not a sports person at all.
Yeah, me neither.
I was actually pretty athletic when I was young, but I went the way of music and entertainment and stuff. So the reason why I don't really follow football is for the same reason that I don't follow a lot of things that are mainstream, as I said in previous episode, when things become really highly inundated with spectators and people that are, all going for the same cause. A lot of times when too many people get involved, that's when things start to suck. And that's what happened to football for me. When I was a child, I actually dug it pretty much, but I guess you could say the fans ruined it for me. No offense to any fans out there, but I'm sure most of you aren't the annoying kind. But it's funny because, how many times has this ever happened to me that you've been sitting next to me? Back when I did used to drink, I'd be sitting in a bar, and I'm drinking, and some guy, of course, would just strike up the whole freaking alpha male conversation about sports. Did you see the game today? And I'm like, no, I don't watch sports at all. And they'd go, ah. And then they'd start telling me about the game anyway. And I'm like literally don't even know what you're talking about. So I posted a thing on Facebook, which was like this little kid that was on Fox News. And he said, what's your name? And the guy said, the kid said, my name's Gerard. And he goes, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? And the little kid said, the Atlantic Seahawks. And I said, that's me with sports. I'm not.
Me too.
But we did watch the game because my mom, I came from a heavy sports family, and my mother and my father used to be coaches and stuff. So my mom and father have memories of watching a lot of Super Bowl games. So I wanted to be a good son and hang out with my mom and got her involved. And we just kind of threw our differences about sports to the side and picked a team. And we went for the Atlantic Seahawks. Or Falcons, whatever they call them.
Whatever they were, some bird, I don't know.
And we seriously thought that the game, just like everybody, we thought, oh, damn, here's the game, they're already leading by 3 touchdowns and stuff. And she said to me, she's like, so that's pretty much it, right? And I was like, well, and I looked at the time clock and I said, actually, they have plenty of time to pull it back. And lo and behold, they did. And congratulations to the Patriots for that because, as I said, we're not really sports fans, so it's not like we're like, oh, those damn Patriots. It was a really great game, you must admit, and that was a very heroic comeback for the Patriots, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are pissed off that they won, but I'm not one of them, especially when I seen Tom Brady crying and shit and saw that I didn't know his mother had cancer, because like I said, I don't follow sports, so I was happy that he got to have that day. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That made me feel better about it because it's just seems like the Patriots are always at the Super Bowl and they're always winning, and it's
right. And then there's the whole Deflategate thing, and that kind of pissed me off. And I still don't even understand all the the ins and outs about that. I don't understand what deflating the football has to do with anything. Well, number one, this is what freaks me out the most, is why are the teams even in charge of their own balls? Why isn't it like the refs in the sport? Like, why do they trust? It's like, hey, come play poker with me and we'll use my cards. Like, that's so weird to me. Like,
yeah, don't trust anybody with the balls.
Right? Don't trust anybody that brings their own balls.
Exactly.
So, okay. So what was the thing that you wanted me to mention? So it was weird, and I have it on video. I unfortunately don't have it with me today, but I'll probably end up posting it in a comment on this broadcast. So if you want to see it, so we were watching it live, okay, and the Patriots had tied it up. It was 28-28, I think, and it was sudden death in the overtime, which I didn't even know it was sudden death. I thought they were going to be able to do that whole thing because we don't watch sports. So it was sudden death, and they were getting into they were definitely in field goal range, the Patriots were, and they were getting really close to their end zone, and it flashed up on the screens. Patriots win by a touchdown.
Yep. And
it hadn't even happened yet. 2 more plays happened after that happened. So that was pretty creepy. And we, of course, had some weird Mandela effect thing. We were like, maybe it already happened, and we were just in a different universe and whatnot. So...
Well, like I said, I think everything that you see is scripted and planned out, and somebody screwed up.
Yeah, right? It's almost as if like they already knew that was the plan, and they were paid to take the fall or something, and that was already scripted. Yeah, exactly. So here,
I think it's all like the Truman Show, pretty much.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'll put it on Jess for a little bit because she's much better to look at, and I've actually got to adjust myself over here. Well, you're always going to be better looking than me, sweetheart. So, yeah. Remind me one day to tell you, guys, how I tricked this beautiful young lady into sleeping with me. It involved, treats and a lot of persuasion and magic. So.
Not really.
No.
No.
I know. I'm just. You know how I am and how I am about the people in the world and how they view me. I've always been kind of ever since I was a little kid too. It's really weird. I'm sure some of you are. I see that Diana Agiloni clicked like on this broadcast, and thank you for doing that. I've known her since I was a kid, and I don't know, maybe she could shed some light because when I was younger and stuff, a lot of kids used to, like, I don't want to sound like Rudolph here, but they wouldn't let me play in their reindeer games, and so. But I never could figure it out. It was like always on sight. It was just like instant hatred, and I still deal with it to this day. And it's like, okay, yeah. But anyway, not to get all sappy with that crap. What else did we want to talk? Oh, we wanted to talk about the weather, dude. Okay, so like those of you that were watching last week on our first little practice broadcast. We were talking like it's 34 degrees. It was 79 degrees today.
Yeah, I know. It was nice. It doesn't feel like February.
It doesn't feel like February. And that's the thing about Vegas, in any desert, I suppose, is it's always extreme conditions. So extreme hot, extreme cold. So in the middle of February, we have a 79 degree. I'm sure it broke 80 somewhere in the valley, but where we were, it was always 79. So, but yeah, awesome. Although it wasn't like clear blue skies or anything like that. It was kind of hazy and shit, which I wanted to bring up something. Oh my gosh. Okay, so her and I have this thing that's like, we call it the snow globe. And I don't know if you've ever seen Coraline. Who did that movie? It wasn't Tim Burton, was it?
Yeah, it was.
It was Tim Burton? Okay, so the movie Coraline, when she wakes up one morning and her parents are all gone, and this is really what's weirdest about the whole snow globe thing, because I didn't realize the connection until just now. She wakes up one day and it's all hazy and weird looking in the house, and her parents are gone. She can't find them, and she's frantically looking for them. Well, there's also another scene in another movie that we compare the same lighting to, and it seemed like that a lot the past 2 days, especially yesterday. And that is that the second movie is Krampus at the very end of the movie when he wakes up and blah, blah, blah. And what's weird is both times it involves them being in a snow globe. Did you realize that?
Yeah.
The parents are in a snow globe.
And the parents are trapped in a snow globe, and then
And so, like, you know how we talk about, like, dimension shifting and all that kind of stuff, because we're weird like that and we believe in stuff like that. So, and I've always said that when I go to sleep, sometimes I feel like I go to a different dimension. Same universe, parallel universe. Different timeline kind of thing. So, or same timeline, different universe, whatever it is I'm trying to say. And then, so we have this weird snow globey feeling, and that was yesterday. Like, the Super Bowl was dope. Like, we had a great time, and we were like eating, and we were, you know, getting into the game, and just totally not being ourselves, and trying to make it fun for my mom and stuff like that. And she made a lot of great food. Thank you, Mom. Love you. And so we pigged out that day. It was so great, and so we had a great day, and it was really nice. But then we woke up.
Any day that involves pigging out is good.
Right, and we woke up the next day though, and it was snow globe. It was weird. It was hazy and weird. So now we feel like we're in some kind of different dimension.
Well, especially because I got so sick. And I usually, I mean, I sleep for maybe like 4 or 5 hours a night typically. And I'm up anywhere between 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. And I mean, I'm awake until midnight or 1 the next night. And I can't stay awake for longer than like an hour. Today and yesterday, I just keep falling asleep, and that's why I'm sitting here. If I don't keep talking, I'm going to fall asleep in front of everybody. Because I just am so tired and sick.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. So it turns out, because I share this on my Facebook page, I didn't see a lot of your comments. I didn't even realize that people were commenting until right now. So I apologize for that. Because I had to go to the Spit the Wit page. It's really so in-depthly complicated, and it doesn't need to be as complicated as Facebook has made this program.
It's a pain.
But so let's see. We got Diana said, "Hey, you guys, it's Diana. You guys rock. I love you, and have a great show. Thank you very much, Diana. We appreciate that." And let's see, who else do we got? We got Sherry Mueller.
Hi, Sherry.
And she said that July is gonna blow. And why is that, Sherry, that July is going to blow? Because I actually love when it's hot. And Chad Hill said that we are crazy. And apparently Chad's crazy, because that's why he said we all are. He was just volunteering us all to be part of his crazy. But anyway, okay. So, yes, do comment. You know what would be great is if I could actually get an intern in here. So if anybody knows any college interns, this is an LLC and all that kind of stuff. So we need an intern to come run this stuff and like read our comments to us while we look. And the other thing is to have the computer here. The only problem is I don't want to cover up my lovely, lovely wife with a computer screen that says like Acer on the back. And I'm not paid or promoted by Acer to say anything, but I'm sure that a lot of people out there, I'm sure there's Mac people out there that are like, oh my God, Acer PC, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure that there's PC people that are like, Acer, oh my God. And I'm telling you right now, the Acer that I use to run all the stuff and make all the music and stuff that I have, I bought it back in 2010, and it is not taking a crap on me at all. And it is seriously in the best, let's see, I've been in the market for computers now for the past 20-something years. And this is like seriously the baddest, meaning badass computer that I've ever owned. I mean, it just runs like a freaking champion. So thank you, Acer, for making stuff. And I promise you that no matter how rich I get, I will still buy a lot of Acer products. Yes. What else did we want to talk about here today? Oh, which brings me to this. And I keep... You hear that? That's the springs on this. I can play it like a bass.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't that sound like a bass guitar? Well, it's not. It's a bunch of springs.
So
anyway, speaking of which, we wanted to talk to people that might have a business or something that they're trying to promote, because I'm sure that if you've seen some of our videos, we've had over 1,000 views, and we've only started doing this a little over a week ago. So we wanted to extend to you an offer, so you have to email me if you want to do a radio show just like this, and I'll run it for you so that you don't have the complications that I do in the beginning of the show. I will be your intern and run it for you. If you want to come into Rolling Hills Productions and do your own broadcast just like this one, and we will more than likely be able to set you up and get it out to a lot of viewers. As you may see, it's not a lot of live viewers, but within the course of the week, you get a lot of views. And the other thing is, if you do have something that you're trying to promote but don't need a full hour to do it, then you should hit me up anyway and be a guest on our show for our 15 minutes segment, which we are skipping today. But yeah, we'll just bring you into the studio and talk about your product here. If you want to do a demonstration of your product or whatever, just hit me up either on Spit the Wit, or you could hit up Jessy Meadows Official, or you could hit up Jessy Meadows Facebook account, or you could hit me up on Facebook at Frankie Almost, or you could email me at frankie_almost@yahoo.com, of course. So got that out of the way. So let's see. The snow globe thing we already talked about, yeah. What I did want to talk about, though, was the song Auto Genocide. Now, I had a couple of emails, and people were complaining, fortunately for me, but I mean, it is on Spotify, so if they wanted to hear it, they could just go listen to it. But they said it was cool that I streamed my song, and they liked listening to it. However, that day, we had some glitching in our technology over here. Our media stream wasn't as stable as it usually is, and the song was like skipping and stuff like that. So we're gonna play Auto Genocide here in probably just a couple of minutes. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about, like right off the bat?
Not really. I just had a few like
All right,
little
we'll see
off.
you later. Okay.
You know, it's funny is my mother-in-law, who I love to death. My mother-in-law is my family. We always show these shows to her, and she's always saying he talks too much and cuts me off. I don't talk enough.
Right, and then I try to involve you,
and I'm just like,
you say nothing, which is nice, which is awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say you like that normally. You don't. Well, we'll get into that later.
Right. What you mean that I'm because I was born in Asia, I like submissive, quiet, be seen not heard type women? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh. You poor thing. It's not like you really like talking anyway. You're like such an introvert. Like,
I'm only an introvert until you get to know me, and then I don't shut up. But I talk about, part of the reason why I'm so quiet is because I don't talk about stuff that people like to hear. I talk about weird stuff.
Right.
I talk about like capgras syndrome and dermatophagia and trichotillomania and stuff like that. People are just, their eyes glaze over and they're like gone. So
Right.
I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and pretend to be
right, because most people want to talk about pizza
ditzy.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, and who's like Beyonce's
football.
having twins and all this stupid stuff,
Right.
and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like
And,
I like interesting.
Let's see. Sherry Mueller just said. Oh wait, you guys are like having a conversation in a room with each other. Here we go. My son-in-law. This is Cleo Miller. My son-in-law is a genius, IT career, gaming guy, and he got me an Acer. So yes, absolutely. I believe Acer is a really good product, and obviously, because it took me so long to answer you, Cleo, I'm sure that you guys know that there's a delay here, so it's not actual real time, and we are not broadcasting from our Acer. We use it for other things. So, but that it's probably an internet and Facebook issue is the reason why we have such lag. So, but Sherry Mueller said hi. Desiree and Doreen. So, let's see. What else are we talking about here? Oh, that's what I was. You were talking about capgras syndrome and stuff like that. You want to explain to people what capgras syndrome is?
Okay, so capgras syndrome is it's classified as a mental illness, but a lot of people that have absolutely no problems with mental illness, they are completely sane, start reporting this. And it's where you start thinking that your loved ones, your neighbors, people you know have been replaced with either like a doppelganger or
An alien.
And nobody really knows what it is or why. And some people even think that, when they look in the mirror or they see themselves on camera, they don't think that they're seeing them. They think that they're seeing something that is posing as them.
Okay. You know what's weird? When I was younger and stuff, and I used to look in the mirror, of course my vision was better when I was younger, and I never needed glasses. I had 20/15 vision, which is better than normal. I destroyed it with computers, though. I destroyed my vision by looking at Yeah, I'm getting old too, which I had nothing to do with, but looking at real fine detail on computers for hours on end without looking away. But I noticed when I started to get older and things that I looked in the like mirror and I didn't really look like I'm not worried about like the wrinkles or my hairline starting to recede a little bit. I know it looks like it's probably like, dude, you need to cover that, but it honestly, like when I was younger, when I was in like my teens and 20s, it has only receded probably about a quarter of an inch. So my hairline's always looked like that, and I thought it was cool because it kind of looks like a lightning bolt. But anyway, I noticed that I like looked a little different, and I don't mean wrinkles wise or face structure wise. I meant in the eyes, like something doesn't exactly look like it used to. Like it's not as vibrant or something. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But one thing that I did want to tell everybody is, and again, I have to get these clips that I'm talking about and put them in the comments or show them live on the show. But I was editing a thing that her and I was in, and I went wall-eyed. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay, so we were using GoPro on a selfie stick.
Yes.
And we were filming all this stuff. She's blaming it on the GoPro, but I'm telling you, something was weird, dude. And it was like, I want to make a movie because, we have a production company, so we want to make movies and stuff like that. And, we experiment. But I wanted to make a movie because as I was looking at the footage of me, there was just one split second where I was wall-eyed, meaning like the opposite of cross-eyed. I call it oscried sometimes. But it's where your eyes are like looking outwardly and like
pointing
that.
towards the walls.
Yeah, and I never had that in my life. And it was just one frame, and it was almost like, what the hell? There's a demon, and it's taking me over or something weird. Mm-hmm.
And I've had pictures where I've looked at myself and I'm like, that's not my face. It is, but it's not. And then what really threw me off was seeing a picture of a friend of mine, and it was her, but it wasn't. And what my theory is that there's, going back to the whole like different dimensions and different timelines and things like that.
Yeah.
Is that, you're capturing the way people look or the way you look at different timelines. And you can see yourself kind of go back and get distant from. And so Capgras syndrome is one of the most fascinating things about it is the fact that completely sane people are convinced that their loved ones are being replaced.
Which sounds insane. So is it a sign of going insane, or is it something that's legit?
Are they picking up on something?
Or are they picking up on something like I actually like had Matrix kind of feelings before the movie even came out. Mm-hmm. Like I honestly thought this was all a simulation or possibly a dream. I don't think I went as in depth as to say it was a simulation on computer synthetics and stuff. I thought that it was possible that life was but a dream, merrily. So, I mean, I know that's not really Capgras syndrome, but it's kind of along the same lines, Sometimes I wonder, what's it all about? Coca-Cola, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, you sound like Poppy.
Poppy, yeah. Has anybody ever seen Poppy?
Energy drink. Dude,
if you guys have never seen Poppy, oh man, it's so crazy, dude. So there's this girl on the internet named Poppy, and she originally started by making music, and she teamed up with a guy named Titanic Sinclair, and Titanic Sinclair used to manage and direct Mars Argo, who is...
What was that?
Mars Argo is like the best version of Poppy and the hottest version of Poppy. But anyway, Mars Argo, for whatever reason, didn't want to have anything to do with Titanic Sinclair anymore, so she stepped out of the scene. And you can YouTube all this stuff. It's actually pretty interesting information. About how long ago was that, babe? Like 6 months ago that I discovered her?
Yes.
Okay. So, but her channel is just completely bizarre. Like, she'll just come out and talk about Doritos, and she'll just like repeat the same thing, like three or 4 minutes of this same sentence over and over again, with like this ominous keyboard music in the background, and it's like really strange and really weird stuff. But there's a code to be cracked, and all these people are like trying to figure out exactly what it means, and it's taking stabs at like mainstream Illuminati kind of media and the music industry or entertainment business. And so you got to look up Poppy and watch those videos. And I'll put a link to it I was going to say the description, but that's YouTube lingo. In the comments after the show, I'll put a link to Poppy's channel. So anything you wanted to say about Poppy?
No, just, I mean, it's interesting and it's weird. Yeah. And her voice puts me to sleep, so I do like listening to it.
Is it her voice, or is it the Titanic Sinclair produced music?
It's her voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's directing her on how to talk, but it's very effective.
What do you think about her song Low Life?
It's all right.
I actually like it a lot because it's kind of got a reggae feel, so it's like a...
It's got a little bit of a dark reggae feel. It's a very interesting video. It's a well-done video.
Yeah, it is a well-done video. For a budgeted video.
Yeah.
Who's the other girl we need to talk about? The one that's really dope and writes all the Katy Perry songs and shit.
Bonnie McGee.
Bonnie McGee. Bonnie McGee, you need to check her out on YouTube. Just like Bobby McGee, but it's Bonnie McGee. And as your first, when I discovered her, it didn't say anywhere what she was about or what she was doing. It was just these videos with her music on it, and Jess was listening to her and said, wow, she sounds a lot like Katy Perry and just like your typical pop icon. Well, as it turns out, she wrote all the frickin' songs that these pop icons, I mean, you wouldn't believe her itinerary of songs that she wrote for these artists, and she's trying to come up herself, and I think she's bomb, dude. She's like, I mean, I'm not into her looks per se, but I think that she's extremely talented. I like her voice, I like her music, and I like her video ideas. And the bombastic one was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was like a retro 80s thing, and they tried to make it look like VHS where it was all scrambled. And yeah.
It's really well done.
And so you need to check out Bonnie McGee, because honestly, she deserves a fan base, because I couldn't believe that she literally has a video with total pop icons in the video singing her, lip syncing to her lyrics. Like they all did it through Skype and shit like that. And I couldn't believe what as many famous people are. It's like from, let's see, Paris Hilton to Katy Perry, like Skyping from their bedrooms, doing her lyrics to her song. And this song only has like, 2 million views or something like that?
Yeah, it's not very much.
And her freaking fan base on YouTube is like only like 20, no, I think it was in the 100,000, but it was a really small amount. It's like your regular average, like leafy type person has 10,000 times more followers than her for no freaking reason. So, Bonnie McGee, you need to check out her stuff. She's dope. She's dope. Let's see. What else are we talking about here? What's this January 80th? Oh, yeah, that's never mind. Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play, speaking of music, we're going to play, again, the song Auto Genocide by Icy Tens, and we're going to play it in its entirety while her and I take a little break and a breather. And so we'll be back in, I think the song is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So here comes the song. Hold on one second. And there we go.
That was attractive.
Thank you.
Everything's the same.
Everything's the same.
Every day's pain.
Every day's pain.
And everyone's insane.
And everyone's insane.
So nothing's gonna change.
So nothing's gonna change.
Will never change.
Never change.
You will never understand. The wickedness of man. And you may not give a damn, but you see, it's all part of the plan. Yeah, their master plan. They want us fights. And who is wrong or right? Yeah. They don't want us to unite. No. They're programming us to fight. It's auto-genocide. They want us to divide. It's auto-genocide. And yes, we've got to fight to stay alive. Everything's the same. Every day is pain. Everyone's the same. Nothing's gonna change. It's always black and white. Who is wrong or right? They don't want us to unite. It's auto-genocide. Don't buy the hate. Don't take the bait. Don't be deceived by what they believe. Don't buy the hate. Don't take the bait. Don't be deceived by what they believe. Don't buy the hate. Don't take the bait. Don't be deceived they believe. Don't buy the hate. Don't take the bait. Don't be deceived by what they believe. Don't close your eyes or hide from the lies, 'cause they will learn when the tables turn. Don't buy the hate. Don't take the bait. Don't be deceived by what they believe. Don't close your eyes or hide from the lies, 'cause they will learn when the tables turn. Don't buy the hate. Don't take the bait. Don't be deceived by what they believe. Don't close your eyes or hide from the lies, 'cause they will learn when the tables turn.
Okay, so there it is in its entirety. That was Auto-Genocide by Icy Tens. So, for those of you that don't know, Icy Tens is our YouTube channel, and it is our band, and that was me and Jess singing that song. And we have a channel on YouTube called Icy Tens, ICYTINS. And we are like genreless. We just do whatever the hell we feel like. So sometimes it's rap, and sometimes it's parody music, and sometimes it's, you know, a little more deep and political, like that song is. So we wanted to talk about Icy Tens, actually. We have, I don't know, probably around just under 2,000 followers on, or subscribers on our Icy Tens. Are you still with me, or are you falling asleep?
No,
okay.
no, I keep yawning. I can't stop yawning. It's one of those.
I got you. So, so anyway, the reason why I wanted to talk about it was because we caught a lot of crap for our Icy Tens thing, and a lot of our friends are like roaming around the planet, not understanding what the hell we were doing, and we wanted it that way. So, basically, what happened was Jess and I kind of had like this little bet when we first met. I not necessarily like a bet, but an experiment, kind of like call it a social experiment, I guess. Where both of us have always been serious artists and trying to come up and, you know, be taken seriously, like somebody like Prince or Michael Jackson or somebody like that. And I told her that, you know, I'm on the internet constantly, and this is not the day and age for that anymore. People will just want you to be a total screw up, like Kardashians and shit like that. So it's better to be a joke.
Pineapple, apple pen.
Pen, pineapple, apple pen, exactly. So I said to her, you know, people, they want controversy. They want stuff that they can poke and make fun of, which is sad, but this is the truth. So, we took a song of mine that's literally 23 years old called Exhibition. I wrote that song 23 years ago, and, we revised it and tried to, like, what?
I said sorry because I keep yawning.
Oh, I thought you were going to sneeze. Okay.
No.
So we took this old song, Exhibition, that's 23 years old, and it's a totally douchey song to begin with, but that was right up our alley because it was something we were looking for. So I revised it, and remastered it, and I mean just basically made it into a brand new version of the song from back in the day. So we said we need a weird video to go along with it. So she came up with this whole Alice in Wonderland theme. And you want to talk about it at all? Like,
it was just something that I had these visions of before I even got here. Was this Alice in Wonderland in Vegas theme?
right.
And it was just really weird that.
Right.
ended
So
up
what
with
what we ended up doing was getting people that we knew that kind of looked like characters in Alice in Wonderland and convinced them and tricked them and persuaded them to be in our video, and we all made complete asses out of ourselves, and that was uploaded in 15, I think, early 2015.
14.
Was it 14?
Yeah.
So late 2014, early 2015, right around there. And here it is, and it has 600 and something thousand views, almost 1 million views. And it's every day it gets like 2,000 views. And so that I proved my point. Like, people, they're talking crap about it. They're going on there and they're like, what seventh circle of internet hell am I in, and all this kind of crap, and just talking so much shit. So we ended up having to do something even worse. So we started going down that rabbit hole, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And we started making videos as strange and weird as possible and trying to create controversy and buzz. Because, as we said, nobody judges anything on merit or talent anymore. They just want something freaking weird that they can talk crap about, which they're probably doing. Well, we already know they're already doing it with this silly show. So we started making other things. And then while we were driving, I said, it'd be funny. Because, as you know, those of you that are friends and family, my name is not actually Frankie Almost. And I know it's shocking to people from here in Vegas because I've been going by Frankie Almost for the past like 12, 15 years, something like that. And her name is not actually Jessy Meadows. Those of you that speak Spanish and those of you that do know, Meadows is what Las Vegas means, the Meadows. So her name is actually like Jessy Vegas. And I'm Frankie Almost, and we'll get into that a different time, why that is. Anyway, we started making other songs and other crazy videos. And anyway, I was driving, and I just had this epiphany, and I looked at her and I said, nobody really knows us, I mean, just the people in Vegas. And we have a whole world out there to entertain. What if we got like sexual with each other, not like actually physically touching each other, but just flirtatious with each other, and pretended that we were half brother and sister? And I know that sounds really morbid to some of you out there, but bear with us because we were trying to create controversy. So we created a video called Real Soldiers, and in it we pretended to be a brother and sister in a living room setting, playing video games against each other, and she was very scantily clad in the video. So, and sitting next to me in my jammies, and we played against each other while we flirted with each other and were playing video games to compete for her slice of pizza pie, if you get that metaphor. So, okay. So, I know that some of you are probably like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But bear with me here. So, we made that video, and the next thing I know, we're being talked about on 4chan, and I don't know how many people of you know what 4chan is, but basically it's like a Reddit, but it was the Reddit before Reddit was anything, and it's called 4chan, and they were coming on and raiding our channel and talking crap about us and calling her a floozy and me a queefy beta male and whatever else you could think of. And of course, her feelings were getting hurt, and I was like, babe, this is what we were doing this for. So I always had to say, just let it happen and don't worry about it. So we tend to not let her really look at the comments because people say some really nasty shit. But anyway, so I wake up one morning and I did a search on YouTube for IC10s just to see what was out there. And then again, lo and behold, there was these French guys from France speaking entirely in French, and they had a segment on her and I and talking about in French how bizarre her and I were, and that we were brother and sister, and this is so incestual and weird and everything like that. And I looked at her and I said, see, this is working. So about a week or two later, another guy who spoke English that had a channel that's kind of like a leafy channel, just talking crap about people. Like, no talent, just talking shit, you know? I don't understand what the whole talking shit thing is. I don't know why people are getting a career on that, but they are. They're just simply talking crap about people. And it's like, well, if you can do better, bro, then let me see you do something.
Right.
But, I mean, we were intentionally doing something that was, you know, subjected to be bad or mediocre at best. And so he did an entire show about us, or a video about us, and it was his biggest viewed video in the next couple of weeks. And I mean, he just drug us through the gutter and talked so much crap about us.
We never did find out what he was saying, though. Not all the
no,
way.
not the French guys. The guy that spoke English. The guy that was
that other guy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the guy that admitted that he was some big, huge, fat guy, and he was like, "What do I know? I'm just some
That's
big
right.
fat guy."
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, and there's a video out there. I think it's called IC10's The Worst Music Video in History or something like that, in all caps. I mean, for whatever reason, we touched a nerve with this guy. And so when this stuff started happening, it started hurting her feelings. And so she talked me into doing something a little more noble. And then around that time, she got what we thought was a carcinoma on the side of her face. And she didn't want to be remembered to be the floozy that was on YouTube. So we decided that we were going to just do a series about her and what we were going through with her life, because people like that kind of stuff and they want to see touching stories and stuff like that. And she was going through a lot. She had to get a lot of blood tests and a lot of tests. And she was told this, that, and the other thing every other week. It was like, oh, you might have hepatitis. Oh, you don't have hepatitis. Oh, you might have this. You might have that. And so we did a series in 10 parts following our lives with this GoPro thing. And as it turns out, all of those videos got like 11
Views.
11 views apiece. So we said, shit, we really screwed up, because we had everybody going and we believed it. And then also we found out that she didn't actually have cancer, which was amazing and awesome, of course.
It was benign.
But now here we are stuck with this IC10's channel that we don't know what the hell to do with. And what we're thinking about doing is going back on there and just making our videos brother and sister themed, and hoping that people understand that we're not really brother and sister, that this is a part that we play on a TV show, because our YouTube channel is not our life, as most of your YouTube channels out there are probably not your life. They are just a scripted little act that we were doing. So we are probably going to get back into that, and hope that you guys join us along for the ride. And we would totally love suggestions. Like, I know we were talking about doing a video only because I knew a guy that actually used to do this to his sister, but we were going to do a video where it was like singing this whatever stupid song we were going to be singing or rapping, and I was going to be doing it sitting on the toilet. Not to rip off Psy in a totally different light. When you hear the rest of it, you'll understand. So I'd be rapping and stuff the song, and what I would end up doing is, like, once I was done, I would go and chase her down the house and pick her up and throw her in the bathroom and close the door and keep her in there. And that is based off of a true story of a guy that I know that used to do that to his sister. So it's kind of creepy and weird, but it would have made a funny video. So we wanted to keep up with this brother-sister theme, so let us know what you guys think about that. If you guys even care about what's happening with our IC10's channel. If you don't, then don't worry about it, because other people do out there somewhere, especially these two French guys and this one big fat guy.
Yeah.
So, let's see. What else do we got going on here? Why don't you go ahead and talk about something real quick while I line up a video and we play that Wayne Newton thing in just a couple minutes here.
Okay, so I don't really know what I'm going to talk about, because I'm sitting over here trying to just be awake and interesting. So,
You're always interesting, baby. Always interesting.
yeah, that's because I have fake boobs.
No, other than that, honestly, I've always thought that you were interesting looking, and you already know that I don't really care for big boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's more than your boobs, babe. It's your face, it's your everything.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I had something. I totally had something in my mind, and then I lost it. Hang on.
Does it have to do with boobs?
No.
Okay.
It was something else. And I totally lost it. I'm telling you, I cannot think of anything for more than like 5 minutes.
Are you a natural blonde?
Yes.
You are a natural blonde.
Not this blonde, obviously, but
that explains a lot.
I am. Yeah. Shut up. So, yeah, what was I gonna...
I don't think you need to worry about it that much. Kind of did what I needed to do. And there you go, Mom. See, every time I try to hand her the microphone, this is what happens.
I totally blew that. Sorry.
Yeah. So, we're going to play you a little clip, and this has Steve Dissler in it. So, Steve Dissler, if you're watching this was a music montage that was going to go on to the little series that I was talking about that got 11 views per video. So we're going to, because we shot it and we never released it, we're going to show a little bit of the Wayne Newton's Ranch for those of you that have never been to Vegas and have never seen Wayne Newton's Ranch. There's many reasons why you should, and if you're one of those people that don't really care for his music or whatever, you have to know, and Steve will be better to tell you this when he comes in here, what an awesome guy Wayne Newton is. And even if you don't believe that he deserves what he had in life over his talent, then his heart will prove otherwise, why he's a great person and deserved everything that he's got throughout his life. And we love Wayne Newton, and he was kind of like us in a way. He was fun to laugh at when we were younger until we really got what he was. And I don't mean to speak about him as if he's dead. Of course not. But
well, he's so iconic when it comes to Vegas. Too.
He's great. And what a lot of people don't know is he plays like freaking a few instruments and well. Like, he's usually the front man up there singing and everything, but he actually, like, plays the guitar, he plays the piano, he plays instruments. And not only that, but we're going to have Steve share a story, if he's allowed to, because he does the tours over there, about a guy that he had on a USO tour that he had come up and play guitar. And those of you that know what I'm talking about, it is a really tearjerker. Yeah, but we'll get into that later. So anyway, I wanted to play you the Wayne Newton Ranch footage, and it's just a music montage, and I'm sorry it's over the same song you just heard, but we wanted to show this, and we wanted to get it out there so that people could get a sneak peek. So when you come to Vegas, make sure that you take a tour at Wayne Newton's Ranch, because it's really a sight. Ben Franklin's glasses, he owns Ben Franklin's blue specs. I mean, the dude just has it all. So come to Vegas and check out Wayne Newton's Ranch and watch this video as incentive. Okay.
Everything's the same.
Everything's the same.
Every day is pain.
This is J-Lo, everybody. One of Wayne Newton's horses.
You can tell everybody now you went to Wayne Newton's Ranch and you met J-Lo,
And
right?
everyone's the same.
And everyone's the same.
So nothing's gonna change.
So nothing's gonna change.
Will never change.
Never change.
You will never understand. The wickedness of man. And you may not give a damn, but you see, it's all part of the plan. Yeah, their master plan.
This here is the house that was in Vegas Vacation when he was trying to swoop Beverly D'Angelo off her feet and like gave her a lock of his hair and everything, and she like freaked out and had to leave, and he was like,
I'm making pasta.
I'm gonna make pasta.
They want us to divide. I don't genocide.
so yeah, so that's just a little sneak peek of it. There's actually more, but I don't want to show you too much because if you ever come to Vegas, you need to I saw it on Frankie's thing. No. You got to see the stuff live, and there's a lot of history in that house, and they have like a wine cellar that Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. used to go and hang out. Oh my God, dude. Like such great history of like the Rat Pack and so much stuff. And I'm very fortunate to have seen Wayne Newton perform. But I was a little kid at the time, and I'm sad that I didn't go when he was at the Stardust before they imploded it. And now he's not. I don't know if he's doing stuff as of right now or not.
When did they implode the Stardust? Because
2006.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I didn't get to go to the Stardust and I wanted to.
Yeah. It was as all these things are. It was at like 2:00 in the morning, and it was a big to do. But I worked at a very famous place here in town for karaoke called the Golden Palm Hotel, which is now imploded itself, which is kind of poetic justice, I guess. Because I was stuck working that night and didn't get to go to the thing. And like the place that I worked at was completely empty because everybody went down to go do this, drink beers, and you could sit at the hotel across the street, which I can't remember if it was like the Hacienda or something like that. And you could sit in the parking lot and watch the implosion. And I missed it. I had to watch it on TV, which sucked.
Yeah, it was kind of like with the Riviera.
The Riviera, dude. So her and I were really heartbroken about the Riviera because really when I proposed to her, that's where we were staying because we like old Vegas. We're all about like the history of Vegas. And as you guys know, this town like implodes things and just forgets its past. Like there's like
it just is straight gone. It's been there for 60 years, but no.
They're like some young hot chick. They're like, next, you know. They're like, I don't care. You have no value to me. You're done, and they move on to the next thing. And unfortunately, this town's that way. And we're holding on now to Circus Circus. And I know a lot of you people think that Circus Circus is ghetto,
not.
But that's where we spent our honeymoon.
I love Circus Circus
because we like the old things. And I stayed at Circus Circus the first time when I was 2 years old, and my family came out there, and the place was like brand spanking new back then. And now, of course, it's run down and everything like that. But we always, whenever we do our little staycation thing, we stay in Vegas and typically go to Circus Circus. So if anybody that represents Circus Circus wants to cut us a deal, that would be awesome. Maybe you could knock off the resort fee or something.
Yeah, that would be nice. Hint, anybody?
Hint, wink, wink. Yes.
Oh, and by the way, the woman in the video that you were just watching is my mother-in-law, and she is amazing. She looks amazing.
We don't want to give away too much about my mom because we're actually going to have her in here as a guest within the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. I will tell you this one minor detail, and that is she is almost 80 years old. She's 79 years old, and she'll be 80 in December.
And her name is Siobhan. It's such a pretty name.
Yep.
I've never heard it before or since.
Absolutely.
And I'm lucky because a lot of women, they're like, and men too, like their mother-in-law, of course, in his case, my mom passed away in 2011. But, I'm really lucky because I absolutely love my mother-in-law so much. So I'm very, very happy.
And with good reason. My mom has always been a great mom. And she was the type of mother that always had a baby on her hip while she was taking care of another baby. And I mean, she had 6 kids, and I was the youngest, and she like literally would have to be feeding one while she was taking care of another sick one on her hip. She had baby on each hip kind of thing, stirring the soup, that kind of thing. And old school, like I don't know if any of you remember that kind of parenting, but I'm sure some of you are still that way. But my mom was one of those, and she always made you feel safe, and she always made you feel loved. And and I will say this, although I don't want to get into the subject too much, and I'm not going to touch it onto this subject when she's here in the studio, because I don't want to bring the thing down. But if any of my siblings are watching, my mom got a really bad deal later in life because my sisters weren't exactly great to her. So, and I just want to say that. It really sucks because she deserved the world, and they all pretty much gave her a world of shit, with the exception of one who bought her a house and let her rent it and stuff like that. So I do have one sister that's teetering on the brink of being an actually good person. So, but I definitely don't commend what you guys have, the way that you've treated my mom. And I just wanted to say that. So anyway, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to come back on Friday, right? We're here on Friday.
Yep.
And that is the day we're bringing Steve Dissler in. So we can't wait for that, because Steve Dissler is a very interesting character and will carry the show very well because he's a very quippy person. And we can't wait to have you in here, Steve. And so we'll see you on Friday at 6 p.m., everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Have a great night, everybody. Stay safe.